I'm Robbie Cook. This is my wife, Lauren. We have been members at TDC since 2016, since we kind of moved to DC.
When we came to the district church, we could feel the Spirit moving. We both left feeling like we had just been in the presence of God. And the rest is history. So we have a daughter named Zoe. She's almost 4. And when I was pregnant with her, I learned about the Multiply campaign, which was the previous campaign done by the district church. So I knew, okay, this is our Multiply baby. Fast forward a couple years, when we learned about the Restore campaign, I was pregnant with Naomi, who was born in July. And so she is our Restore baby. So just really feel fortunate to have our family literally multiply as the church grows. It just feels very special. It's hard to ignore. I love that we have a community that is really, really good at loving one another, right? And like loving as in a verb, not a noun. And I think in a lot of opportunities or a lot of situations, that means being honest, right? And saying the challenging thing that is true, but that someone might not have said previously. So we were in Abby and Aaron's small group when we were challenged to start tithing. We were trying to decide what our pledge for Multiply would be. And we had 2 really different experiences. I came up with a number that was a whole lot higher than what Robbie had come up with. And I know we were both like praying on this. We were both meditating on this. I mean, it caused some strife, some tension in our marriage to really have 2 very different numbers. Robbie conceded. My number 1, so that's ultimately what we ended up pledging.
Funny how that works.
And then at the end of the 2-year campaign, we made it. We were able to fully fund what we had pledged, and we looked back and we realized the number that we had pledged was actually just a tithe. God had provided so much for us that we literally just did that 10%. And I think that was an extremely tangible sign from God saying, trust me. This is a weird time to be living in the district, right? Like the economy is weird, the city is weird. It's uncertain. There are so many things that are out of our control. And so as we're preparing for Restore, similarly, we've both been praying on it separately. I said, I'm nervous to tell you my number, but I said it with confidence. And Robbie said the exact same number.
I felt called this time around to be like, you know what? God, like you have worked miracles for us. That's something that I've been working on as a Christian, is to put my faith, specifically my resources, and give them up to God. I'm nervous. I'm a financially conservative person, and I didn't want to overcommit and fall short. And I also didn't know what the real estate market was going to look like. I didn't know how we were going to be able to afford childcare. So Lauren tells me we're pregnant with our second, Naomi, and I'm over the moon. Like, we've been wanting it, right? Like, this is great. Like, we're thrilled. The next thought is, okay, how are we as 2 working people going to be able to, pay for childcare for 2 kids? So I'm excited and nervous, right? And I think really God basically took my hand and was like, I got you. And so, probably 2 weeks later, I get called into my partner's office, and he's like, Robbie, I see you. I see what you've been doing. I see the stress that this job puts on you. And I also I feel like we should value that. And I felt compelled to tell him about, Naomi. And he's like, well, that's perfect, because the reason I called you into this office is to make sure that you knew that we were going to be giving you a raise this year. And that raise, to the dollar, the raise is what was needed for the childcare for Naomi. It's just one of those things that it's like, there's no way that this was just a coincidence. That is straight up like God looking me directly in the eyes, being like, I told you I had you. As my family has grown, as the challenges in our city continue to mount, there's really no way for me to walk through life, I guess, without having a foundational belief that God has our back, and we can make it through together. I think without it, I'd be lost. So I think what I'm really excited about for Memorial is everything that I've seen in the plans, all these renderings, is that this, and really the kind of the mission, right, is to be open, outward facing, like this is a church for the city, not just for the members. And I think that's what I'm really excited about to go through and be a part of this and part of this church building, is that when I walk through this space with Zoe and Naomi and telling them about this space, and really how we as a family, we as a church were the winds that blew this change and made this happen. And really through God, like there's no other way that it could have been done.